Hello and welcome to this episode of Microchips, and today we are looking at the band select that's commonly found in Cobra and Superstar radios, and we're going to be modifying it to a 6 position. So here is the band selector. So at the moment it's a 4-pole 3 position as denoted by the markings on the back, which are actually quite good because it actually shows us the common and the actual positions. So for us to modify this switch, we need to turn it from a 4-pole 3 position to a 2-pole 6 position. So as you can see, it's 3 position at the moment. So let's get taking it apart. So first off, we'll remove these little plastic lugs. We can melt them back later. And then we need to prise up this metal back plate. So just using my knife, we'll just get in the gap and we'll just prise it up gently. There, nice and easy. So we'll take the back plate away, save that for later. So we'll take away the wafer switch. We'll be working on that later. Now here's the actual insides of the actual switch itself. So we need to remove this circlip. So be careful when removing the circlip. You don't want it to spring off and disappear into the room somewhere. So just gently working it with a screwdriver just brings it off. And then we'll put that to one side for when we reassemble. So I've noticed as well there's a ball bearing in there, so we're going to have to be extra careful when removing that central green piece. But for now we can remove the rotary shaft. Put that to one side. Now I'm just having a look how this comes out. So I think we can push it from this side. And yes, it starts to move. But just as a precaution, I'm going to do this over a plastic container, just in case that ball bearing decides to disappear. So gently pushing from the back, and there's the ball bearing come out of its little enclosure. So we'll just move that off out the way, and we'll carry on taking this central green piece out. So looking inside it, looks very easy to modify. So we've got the end stop on the central green piece. Now inside here we've got 12 positions, but you can see if you looked at it as a clock it would be at 12 and quarter past. So that would be 3 positions. So if we take one of those pins out and move it opposite, we can have 6 positions. or we could move it to 5 positions if you wanted a 5 position switch, because then it would be a 2 pole 5 position. But if you wanted anything over 6 positions, it would then turn it into a 1 pole. So essentially you could have a 1 pole 12 position switch with this. Just leave that pin out. But for this demonstration, we're going to make it into a 2 pole 6 position. So I should just be as easy as putting this pin opposite to the other pin. So half and half, 12 positions, now it's 6. Easy. So we'll just push that back into place. Just use a metal screwdriver this time, make sure it's located properly. Now to the actual switch wafer. Now because it's got 4 poles, we need to remove 2 of the actual selectors inside the actual wafer switch, because we need to turn it into a 2 pole, because if we left the selectors in, then it would cause a mess. So again, we're going to do this over the pot. So what I'm just doing here is I'm just marking position number, it's actually position number 3. Now if we turn it over, you can see the actual metal wipers that are inside, and 2 of those need to come out. So it doesn't really matter which 2, you just have to find which set of 4 connections it's paired to. But for this, we're going to remove these 2. So over the plastic container again, just so nothing springs out and disappears, we're going to squeeze these 2 central retaining clips together, gently push down and release the actual rotary wafer switch from underneath. I've not pushed it down far enough yet, so a little bit of pushing, and there, it's now out. So you can see there's actually 4 sets of wipers in there. We need to remove 2 of these wipers. If you were making it into a 1 pole 12 position, you just leave 1 wiper in. So that's the wipers removed, so we can reassemble this. But just before reassembly, I thought, let's have a look at the contacts, and yeah, they're a little bit grubby. So now will be a perfect time for a little dab of switch cleaner. Cotton bud, just clean the contacts up. As you can see, a little bit dirty, so we're giving those a clean. And then just with a little bit of WD-40 on a cotton bud, just for a bit of lubrication, just wipe it onto the contacts. That should last another 40 years. So now we can reassemble the switch wafer. So now the switch wafer has got 2 poles. So when we come to connect it at the end, we need to link 2 of the commons together. So now it's ball bearing time. So we'll place the ball bearing onto its spring. And then at an angle, we're going to offer it up to one of its little indents, like so. Give it a little push it back into position. Excellent, nice and easy. Now we can start to reassemble. So we'll just test fit everything, make sure it's all good. Okay, we've not got the central shaft lined on the internal selector, so we'll just line that up correctly, push it through. And then back into the vise again, and we'll put the circlip back into place, just like so. Just check the mechanism works, and it does. Now we'll put the switch wafer back on, making sure the little notch lines up. Now we can reassemble the back plate. Just push it down and just wipe your soldering iron over the plastic. That should be enough to hold it in place. There. So now we can test. Now you see I've linked out a pair of commons, so that is now one pole. So I'll connect my meter to one of the poles. And we'll start doing continuity test. So position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4, position 5, and position 6. There, nice and simple. So I'm just going to put a marking on the back of which pair of contacts are linked together. And there we have a nice 2-pole 6-position switch. So it doesn't have to be 6 position, you could make it 5 position or 4 position, but it'd still be 2-pole. Anything over 6 positions, it would make it into a 1-pole. But then you could theoretically have 12 positions with this. This is much easier than the Cybernet one. No filing down of pieces or anything like that. Just nice and simple. Move a couple of things around, remove a couple of wipers, and job's a good one. Anyway, hope you found this useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Join my Facebook group. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again in another video.